Episode 2 of Legends of Tomorrow opens up with a flashback of Amaya and Nathan in their apartment 6 months ago in Central City when they were a happy couple. And she was baking him donuts, chocolate covered donuts for his birthday from scratch. But of course, they knock over the batter. He goes off to buy store bought ones that his mom used to make. And Amaya catches the news, sees her granddaughter Vixen beating people up, and has a sudden urge to see her after always knowing she was there. Then, of course, Nathan returns on his birthday with her gone and just no other word. So he still has a slight grudge for her over that fact. And then back to present time, and Ray has created a shrink ray that can make things bigger and smaller. But he elects to call it a hypermolecular suppressor instead, of course. And then Sarah has the team look for something easy to fix so that they can prove themselves to the Time Bureau and Agent Sharp. So, of course, they choose a level 1 threat in 1870 Wisconsin during a freak show. And, of course, the time aberration is the saber-toothed tiger that they somehow managed to capture. But I guess they might have like a lineman tamer there or something. But they try to shrink it. Doesn't go according to plan. Because Nathan opens the cage too prematurely before Ray can alter all the settings on his shrink ray. They accidentally make it bigger. And the problem's worse. Goes from level 1 to level 4. And of course the Time Bureau catches on to that. Eventually. And then Sarah decides that to catch the saber-tooth tiger they need Amaya. So she goes off into 1942 and brings her back without telling Nathan. And together, they eventually manage to shrink it without Amaya using her powers, since she is still reluctant to do that after killing so many people brutally in the last episode. Then Sarah catches a spy watching them at the freak show as Nathan points directly at him as he tries to escape. But of course, Sarah knocks him out. Captures him, captures Gary, leaves him in the holding cell, and holds him at gunpoint to tell Agent Sharp that everything's fine, which of course she doesn't believe, since she's smarter than that. And then, eventually, while McFoy's making a turkey sandwich, he lets this saber-tooth tiger out of its cage, even though it's adorable as a kitty. He just doesn't even try to go after it and catch it. And doesn't tell anyone that it escaped. But oh well. And then McRory and Stein go after Jackson Ray after they get captured by the circus because Nathan drunkenly told the ringleader about their powers and showed off his steel right in the middle of the bar. So of course he kidnaps them, turns them into conjoined twins called Yin and Yang, since they can't activate their powers yet. And apparently McRory is afraid of clowns, so once they come out, he doesn't want to go near them. And then eventually Amaya and Nathan get captured by the circus too, as they try to break out Ray and Jax. But of course Nathan can't steal up. They get captured. And Nathan gets pinned to a board as he gets shot and is forced to turn into steel so Amaya doesn't get hurt. Then while all that is going on, Agent Sharp shows up on the wave ladder and she and Lance have a stick fight. They go intensely at it for a while, then they need a water break, of course. And then they run into the saber-toothed tiger at the exact moment it gets bigger once again and goes after Agent Sharp because he runs. But Sarah manages to save her with a time watch that they stole from one of the other agents previously. They wind up in the prison, the holding cell, I guess, with Gary, who just wants to be let go. But they ignore him, of course. And then the problem goes from level 4 all the way up to a level 8. Since more and more things keep happening at the circus. Meanwhile, Stein decides to become a clown, do a few tricks, and then gets attacked by a gang of clowns, but McRory manages to overcome his fear and save him, just in time for Stein and Jax to power up to Firestorm. And Amaya, while in the tent, uses her bear powers to escape the cage, to release Nathan, and almost kills the ringleader, but Nathan manages to calm her back down after she completely hits Firestorm in the face, which looked like it might have probably didn't knock him out, but at least knocked the wind out of them. Everything's okay once again. They probably take back the saber-toothed tiger back to his own time. I doubt they kept it. They go back to the ship. Everything's okay for a while. And Sarah figures out that there's a big villain Rip believes they can defeat someday. And I'm surprised we didn't see Rip this episode. I think we saw everyone but him. But maybe next episode. But Amaya and Nathan talk it out. She explains why she left. How she has to go back to her own time to make sure her granddaughter is still saving 5 people in one day. Or night, I guess, in Detroit. And they make up, and she stays there for now since she needs to control her totem power since the animal keeps trying to take over. Just like with Killer Frost and The Flash. All these parallels. And so she sticks with them for now. And then the end credits scene show, or the last scene, shows a woman who's probably the minion of Malice resurrecting present-day Vixen's sister, who died in the CW Seed show. And they'll probably... Malice is probably resurrecting maybe a bunch of magic users or a bunch of different people to go up against the Legends somehow. But I do wonder how, by breaking time, how the Legends supposedly created a villain. Because they have to have messed up something personally in his life or her life. Malice is probably a guy, though. And who has all this power to resurrect people. And minions. And yeah, it'll probably be like a whole legion of superheroes again. Instead of the Legion of Doom to go up against the Legends, maybe? Maybe resurrect some more people that they previously killed or in other shows. I'm trying to think of villains that they could bring back or at least use to their advantage. Maybe could bring back Rod, but I don't know if it'd be too much money to have him there for so long. Or other villains. They could have like a evil version of Slade or something somehow. Maybe the past version of him, they recruit him for that. Be nice to have Slade there. And what other villains would be good? Maybe that trickster from Supergirl? Maybe, but he is technically overpowered and it would probably need... Eventually they'll probably figure out how to defeat him, though. Maybe. I guess maybe next episode Malice will bring back another villain. Because if they're going to fight the Legends, he's going to have to bring a lot of them, or maybe they'll fight all the villains in the crossover, or maybe, but usually the crossover event is somewhat separate from the main story of the season, and there's just little hints throughout some of the shows on what they're gonna fight. Like in Supergirl with the aliens. Maybe. Or maybe not.